What the heck did Donald Trump and Candace Owens both promote in their last interview? Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it. All right, on this channel, we constantly talk about the importance of being aware of and sidestepping and staying away from the cult of personality. When you cement yourself into the cult of personality, you start drinking the Kool-Aid, you're following a particular person or a group of people or an ideology or a political party. And when you start doing that, you start making mistakes. You start getting sloppy. You start suspending your own critical thinking. And when you suspend critical thinking, you make the wrong decisions. You make the wrong decisions and choices for yourself, for your family, and by extension, the entire society ends up suffering because now everybody is all compartmentalized and they're divided from each other and they're in their own little echo chamber talking about things that they want to talk about and completely disagreeing with other people just because the person they're following says a certain thing. And so I subscribe to Candace Owens, or I subscribe to a Donald Trump, or I'm following an AOC or Diane Frankenstein or a Nazi Pelosi or Joe Biden. So you got this left versus right paradigm lie constantly in the works. So we talk about safeguarding ourselves against the cult of personality. So when we watch this interview, this recent interview between Candace Owens and former President Donald Trump, I want you to think about what they're saying, because what it looks like they're both promoting in their own way is the big farm guy, which is nothing different than we're seeing on fake stream, mainstream, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra media. We might as well call them the propaganda arm for the big pharma industrial complex. Let's listen really closely to how this interview progresses.
In terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that.
Yeah,
but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten...
So Donald Trump says one of the greatest human achievements is initiating Operation Warp Speed, which brought on board the big pharma industrial complex product to combat the Convids 1984 by George Orwell. If we didn't have big pharma, then we wouldn't have the solution. In the words of Gil Bates, the final solution to this problem.
And then the final solution, which is a year to 2 years off, is the vaccine.
But how did they fund the final solution? Donald Trump had to do something in order to shovel all those billions upon billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions, some would say even trillions, because remember, when they signed that banker/corporate bailout, it wasn't just a trillion or two. It was supposed to be 2.2 trillion, but he signed a $6.2 trillion big pharma bailout under the first stimulus package.
Now I'm going to sign this, and it's a great honor. $6.2 trillion. I've never signed anything with a T on it. I don't know if I can handle this one, Mitch. We can't chicken out at this point, can we? I don't think so, huh? All right, thank you all.
So where did that money come from? What had to happen before the U.S. government under Donald Trump and now under Joe Biden, before they could shovel all that money? They had to suspend something. They had to suspend freedom. They had to tap in to the time and laboring energies of Americans. In other words, there had to be a great power and wealth transfer in order for all that money to be transferred from the American people over to the big pharma industrial complex. And Donald Trump spearheaded this under Operation Warp Speed. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, we wouldn't, according to him, we wouldn't have Operation Warp Speed. According to Donald Trump, by his own testimony, he is the father of the VAXX. In other words, he's one of the biggest proponents and supporters of the big pharma industrial complex and their product. If it wasn't for him, that product wouldn't even be on the shelves. We wouldn't even be talking about this if it wasn't for this guy. So what you have here is Candace Owens wanting to talk about the VAXX mandates, And Donald Trump capitalizes on this opportunity to tell you how important the big pharma industrial complex product is for you to get. But that's nothing different from what mainstream media, who pretends to be against Donald Trump, is all about. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on their propaganda machine cycle. Check this out.
Now we went from this is a good thing and people should have this option to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom, but at the same time, the vaccine.
People have to have their freedom, but what people do not understand, people who follow Donald Trump, people who are checked into his cult of personality, drinking his Kool-Aid, and have suspended their own critical thinking, cementing themselves in their own cognitive dissonance. What they don't understand, these followers of Donald Trump, is what Donald Trump is doing. Yeah, people need to have their freedoms to choose, but we do have something that people need to consider is saving millions of lives. Is that true? Is it true that the big pharma industrial complex or the U.S. government is interested in saving lives?
It's one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917.
Think about this. This is one of the greatest achievements of mankind, shoveling billions upon billions of dollars from the American tax cattle's pocket over to the big pharma industrial complex. That's one of the greatest achievements in mankind. And without it, we would have a Spanish flu scenario unfolding on the scene of not only America, but the entire world.
Remember, the Spanish flu killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But
did you get that? The ones who get very sick and the ones that go to the hospital are the ones who don't take the VAXX. And where have we heard that before? We're constantly hearing it on fake stream media. The very fake stream media that Donald Trump himself has rightly labeled the enemy of the people. So who is this guy right here working for? By his own admission, who is he supporting? Who is he promoting? What product is he pushing? If he's pushing the product of the big pharma industrial complex, can you rightly say that he's in your corner? If he's not in your corner and he's doing exactly what the enemy of the people, mainstream media, is doing and saying and promoting, then whose side is Donald J. Trump on? You have to ask yourself that question. And I know what people will say in this video. Oh, Brian's only coming out against Donald Trump because he's a leftist libtard. Not true. Guess who else is promoting with equal fervency the big pharma industrial complex? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. So if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all the Democrats and Donald Trump and all the Republicans in Congress are pushing the big farm guy's product, then you have to ask yourself a question. Who is the real enemy of the people? Why isn't Candace Owens taking this interview and just saying 3 words? Hey, Donald Trump, how can you push this when all you have to do is Google Pfizer criminal history? And it tells you one of the biggest companies involved in fraud and litigation that has been identified as a criminal organization paying billions and billions and billions of dollars, more than any other company has been sued in the history of not just America, but the entire world. Pfizer has been identified even by CNN in 2009 as a company that's too big to nail. In other words, they're the biggest fraudulent company in the entire world. Why are you pushing this company's product? It doesn't make any sense. And it seems like a betrayal, Donald, of the American people. Why isn't Candace Owens saying that? Who's she working for? Who's she beholden to?
It's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
What about the masking of children? That's a big one for moms, right?
Is anything he just said in regard to the VAXX is true? Is anything he said, oh, freedom is very important, choice is very important, but these things work. They're efficacious. They're safe. They're effective. Who else says they're safe and effective? Anthony Fauci. That's right. Anthony Fauci says they're safe and effective, just like mainstream media says they're safe and effective. The U.S. government under Biden says they're safe and effective. Donald Trump says they're safe and effective, and they're saving lives. Who are these people working for?
Terrible thing. I think it's a terrible thing.
That flies in the face of science. The kids have a virtual 0% chance of dying of COVID, and yet they're insisting on these vaccine mandates. On these masking mandates. And now.
So what Candace Owens just did here is just let Donald Trump off the hook, because she was asking about the big pharma industrial complex. Now she's segued into talking about the ritualistic shame muzzle, which, you know, you're free to do whatever you want to. You're free to take a VAXX if you want to. You're free to ritualistic shame muzzle if you want to. You're free to social distance and follow all the cat dog cat guidelines and St. Anthony Fraudsty, God bless his soul. But the issue here is these two are not saying what needs to be said so that they can expose the lie and promote the truth in front of the American people and the entire world. They have an opportunity here. Millions and millions of people will be watching this Candace Owens, Donald Trump interview, and they're not saying what needs to be said. Why?
Even the vaccine mandates for small children.
Right.
And what's going on there?
I think what's happening is you look at the masks where Fauci and a lot of other people said masks don't mean anything. All of a sudden, he becomes a radical masker.
Crazy.
I don't like to see the kids with the masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school.
It's like China. I've been to China.
And yet China's education system's a hell of a lot better than ours. You know what? They're rated number 2 or 3, and we're rated number 44.
But masking children,
No, it's bad.
the way it looks, right? It doesn't look like a free country.
I'm against it.
So you've got Candace Owens, who dropped the ball in this opportunity. And why did she drop the ball? And what did she actually promote? What did Donald Trump actually promote in this interview? Both Candace Owens and Donald Trump are promoting something here. They're promoting the big farm guy. Why are they promoting this? Why did she take an opportunity to segue and let Donald Trump off the hook? Why are people engaged in cognitive dissonance? Why have they checked themselves in to the cult of personality? These are questions we all need to answer, because frankly, we're not going to change our country. We're not going to set brush fires of freedom in the minds of men, which is exactly what has to happen in America and around the world until we answer these questions. Why? Who are they working for? Who are they beholden to? Are they being paid here to say this? Because they're going out of their way 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in propaganda news cycles and interviews like this, promoting the big farm guy. And the question is why? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. Guys, we already know that they want to decimate the dollar, destroy the economy, bring us into a cashless society, and eventually make it difficult for us to even get food. That's why I constantly promote My Patriot Supply. Every chance I get, I turn my fiat currency notes into long-term storable food. This stuff is awesome. It's got a 25-year shelf life. And one thing we're all going to need is storable food. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. With my link in the description, you get $100 off of every order instantly. It'd be a good idea to order it while you can, because I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be able to ship this out. My link for your $100 off discount is in the description below.